Good evening, folks. This is Huckleberry Oddity. I wanted to give people out in the world a glimpse into a successful way of getting Foia requests done in the state of Illinois, basically for free or at a very minimal cost. So, let me explain to you some of the ways that I do a Foia. This is just one example. It is a double-edged sword in the way I do FOIAs, so you take what information I give you and you run with it, please. When I do a FOIA, I usually try and do a little investigation on my own about where it occurred, what exactly happened, and what information I want to know from it. In this particular FOIA that you're going to see an example of, what I'm going to use as an example of a recent FOIA I did where a subscriber wrote me and asked me to help him retrieve some information from a encounter he or a relative might have had with the police. So he told me the date, the time, and the location and his name. So with that, I wasn't too concerned about hiding who I was looking for. When you normally provide a FOIA request, if you give them the information of who you're requesting, a lot of times they will ask the officer that took the report for the information, and he will tend to leave that information out if he asks who's asking for it. So, or he'll give a reason why he wants to deny it, and that's why I try to be vague as possible. If you cannot be vague, what you do in that case is you ask a friend or somebody you know that can email this request in for you and send you the information back through email, which is a much better way to do it. Okay. If you look at the screen here, you'll see at the top here, I've started out with the FOIA City Clerk at decaturofillinois.gov. If you know the location, you just go to Google. I was told it was in Decatur, so we'll say Decatur, Illinois, FOIA request. And my bad typing still got it to come up right here. So we hit on that. And if we look down here, it tells you they have a form and you can download a FOIA form. I don't personally want to do that a lot of times because you have to provide so much information that they're requesting. It's useless to us. What we do know is we need to address it to the FOIA officer at the city clerk's office. And if we continue to look down through here, Monday through Friday 8 a.m. or by fax 217 for blah blah blah, or by email, and it's a highlighted. So if you push that, it's going to take you to basically your email, and it goes sending it off to them. So right there you go. What I did was, we'll back up here, and I'll show you what I typed up to be able to get this particular FOIA. I wrote it to whom it may concern, since we don't know who it usually goes to. It's in response, RE. Tickets are issued to John Doe on or about 1 a.m. on the 5th day of October 2018. And we want to give them a little information on what we know about it. So this way, if they know, maybe we heard it through. We can say we heard it through scanner radio, or we heard it through second hand party. It doesn't really matter, but what we can say is a little information to help them understand what we're exactly looking for. I try to be as vague as possible, like I said. What I've written here is, it says possibly around 11 p.m. the previous day, Mr. Doe had sirens and heard sirens and car doors slamming outside his residence, and he went outside to investigate if anything was involving his property. At some point, there was an interaction between Mr. John Doe and the police. Pursuant to the Illinois Freedom of Information Act, 5 Illinois CS 140/1 ET sequence, I am requesting copies of the following public records. And what we do from there is we list out what exactly we want to have. The first one I started with is 1. All documents such as CAD reports and other reports, emails, memos, text messages, or notes, including notes taken during interviews, which means the ones that the cops handwritten, they need to basically scan those on a computer and send those to you also, created as a result of the incidents. All record radio traffic and telephone calls regarding incidents, that was number 2. Number 3, all records created by body-worn cameras of any officers involved. All records, number 4, all records created by in-car cameras and body-worn microphones. When you have a body-worn camera, usually, sometimes the microphone is not, it has one, but it doesn't record it on the camera, it records it back in the car. So this is why you want to request both body-worn cameras, and then you want to request the in-car cameras and body-worn microphones there, because that's where the information for them, the audio is, and you'll need that sometimes. Number 5, you want to find this out. Any citizens' complaints filed internally against any officer that was present there at the scene to be disclosed pursuant to Calvin v. Chicago, City of Chicago, 2014, Illinois Act 1st 121846. Okay, right there we just given them 5 things that we wanted a list of. So I continue on by listing more things as how I'd like it completed. It says, please copy and or print all documents. Please email any audio and video recordings. If that is not possible, please contact me to discuss alternatives. Please contact me for authorization of any charges in excess of $10. This request is for non-commercial purposes. When you do that, you are eliminating being charged, for them saying that you're going to publish this information and make money off of it. And this is why I say you should ask for a friend to get that information. When a friend gets that information for you and then passes it on to you, you are allowed to use that information and publish it from there on out. And then the friend is not liable since he didn't publish anything, since he was the one that requested it. He's not publishing anything for commercial use. You are. So this is why I always try and say, see if you can get a friend to help you, ask an auditor, email an auditor, something to be able to get you a FOIA request completed in the state of Illinois. 7. The printed records will be picked up by Mr. John Doe. Please contact me by email when the records are ready to be picked up. So this way they know they can't play games when it's all said and done and say that they need him to sign for it, blah, blah, blah. They know that if they're going to try and say that they want to give you printed records, 1, they ain't going to be able to charge you, and 2, that's fine if they do. They just got to hand them to him, and that's all they can do. So he might have to sign a receipt saying that he received the copies of them, and that's the most that he'll have to sign. So, but he should be willing to read and verify what he's signing for exactly, because we know there are records in being able to do trying to make you sign your rights away. Number 8. Section 3, subsection D of the Act provides that each public body shall promptly either comply with or deny a request for public records within 5 business days after receipt of the request. unless the time for response is properly extended under subsection E of this section, denial shall be in writing as provided in section 9 of this act. Thank you for your attention to this request. Sincerely, Huckleberry Auditor, number 9. That is one way you can get a FOIA done here in the state of Illinois, basically for free. You can get all the information you want. They give it to you 9 out of 10 times free of charge. They don't even charge you the $10. So I have no problem giving up $10 for that amount of information, and that's all right with me. I work hard enough. I can throw $10 out the window to try and help somebody. So when everybody wants to try and find some information in Illinois through a FOIA request, this is a way you can get it done. And if you want, just put your name on it, you send it in, and if you're not comfortable doing that, ask a friend to send it in for you, and have them give you the information back, or contact an auditor. Once again, this is Huckleberry Auditing, and I wanted to thank you for tuning in and watching this and trying to learn a different way, or use this and modify it your own way. I'd also like to thank Southern Illinois Public Observers for being the ones who basically this is word for word written for them, and they are the ones who deserve all the respect and the accomplishments for this. If you want to give praise and thanks in the comment section, please give it to them, because I have only passed on the information that was given to me by somebody else that has helped me tremendously. So please use this information to stand up for your rights. Get any information you can to help fight any case you need to fight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and stay strong. Peace.